Hey everyone, welcome back to The Trident. I'm your host Millie, and today we are diving deep, really deep, into the ancient oceans to meet one of the weirdest creatures of the Cambrian period. Today we will be talking about Anomalocaris. This bizarre predator was unlike anything alive today, and it dominated the seas over 500 million years ago. So, let's take a closer look at this prehistoric nightmare. The name Anomalocaris means abnormal shrimp, and well, that's pretty accurate. When its fossils were first discovered, scientists thought its body parts belonged to separate animals. Honestly, you can't really blame them for thinking that. They thought its frontal limbs were a type of shrimp, its mouth was a jellyfish, and its body was a sea cucumber. It wasn't until later that they realized these were all one creature, an absolute unit of a Cambrian predator. Anomalocaris lived during the Cambrian period around 520 to 500 million years ago. This was a time of explosive evolutionary change known as the Cambrian explosion, where many of the first complex animals appeared. It ruled the oceans long before fish, reptiles, or mammals evolved. The Cambrian seas were nothing like the oceans we know today. These waters were warm, shallow, and teeming with bizarre creatures that looked straight out of science fiction. Anomalocaris was a top predator in these ecosystems, swimming freely over the seafloor in search of prey. It was part of a group called Radiodonta, an early offshoot of arthropods, the group that includes modern insects, spiders, and crustaceans. So, just how big was Anomalocaris? Well, compared to today's ocean predators, it wasn't that big, but for the Cambrian period, it was an absolute giant. Some species could grow up to 1 meter or 3.3 feet long, making it one of the largest animals of that time. As for its weight, estimates suggest it could have been around 3 kg or 6.6 pounds. Not really big by modern standards, but remember, most other Cambrian creatures were only a few inches long and weighed a few grams. Its body was long and flexible, allowing it to move through the water with an undulating motion, kind of like a stingray. It had two large, spiked appendages at the front of its head, which it used to grab and hold onto prey. And then there was its terrifying circular mouth, lined with serrated plates that crushed any creature unlucky enough to get caught. If you lived in the Cambrian seas, Anomalocaris was not something you wanted to run into. It was a carnivore, likely feeding on smaller arthropods and other soft-bodied animals. Some scientists believe it might have even hunted early trilobites, but there's debate about whether its mouth was strong enough to crack their tough exoskeletons. As one of the largest animals in the Cambrian seas, Anomalocaris didn't have too many natural predators. However, that doesn't mean it was completely invincible. Other large arthropods, like some of its fellow radiodonts, may have competed with or even preyed on each other. But for the most part, Anomalocaris was an apex predator sitting at the top of the food chain. So, if Anomalocaris was such a successful predator, why did it disappear? Well, like many Cambrian creatures, it didn't survive the environmental changes that came later. As the Ordovician period began around 485 million years ago, ocean conditions changed and new predators like early jawless fish began to evolve. These new creatures may have outcompeted Anomalocaris, leading to its eventual extinction. The story of the Anomalocaris is one of the mistaken identity. British paleontologist Joseph Frederick Whiteaves discovered the first Anomalocaris fossils in the Ogycopsis shale in 1890s. Another paleontologist, Charles Doolittle Walcott, later found more examples in the Burgess shale. However, because its body parts were found separately, paleontologists thought they belonged to different animals. It wasn't until the 1980s that scientists finally realized that these pieces fit together, revealing Anomalocaris as a single terrifying predator. And now our personal illustration of Anomalocaris. And that, my friend, is the wild and weird tale of Anomalocaris, a shrimp-like monster that terrorized the ancient seas. From its spiked arms to its nightmare-fuel mouth, it was one of the most fascinating predators of the Cambrian period. If you enjoyed this presentation, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of The Trident. And let me know in the comments, if Anomalocaris was around today, would you be brave enough to swim with one? Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning and stay curious.